What's poppin'? It's your boy Sammie, Leigh baby, and right now I'm kicking it with my love, Kelly Brew, for Sister to Sister magazine. God is love, the camp.
So how you doing today, Sammie?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm good. So is that the proper thing to call you Sammie?
Actually, now it is. We've decided to go back to the Sammie brand, but Leigh works. Or
so is Leigh your real name? Your middle name? Okay.
Sammie Leigh Bush Jr. is my government. So that's how Leigh Bush derived from. It wasn't nothing we just made up. Leigh is my middle name, Bush is my last.
Right. Okay. So what made you decide to go from Sammie to Leigh and then back to Sammie?
The fans spoke as far as going back to Sammie, but in 2013 we was thinking about different marketing ploys and things to draw attention to the Leigh Bush project, which was an EP of 4 records that we released via Google Play and iTunes. And I just thought it would be dope to just add on to the Sammie brand. Never were we detouring or deviating from the original Sammie brand, but I thought it would be dope to show a different side of me. That project was more innovative, the instrumentation was more live, so I got to tap into really the soul of music that dwells within me, and I didn't have to be so commercial either because I'm independent, so I didn't have to play the politics game that you gotta play. So it was just something fun, you know what I'm saying? And we called it the project because we didn't know what it would do. And then it debuted in the top 10, and I don't know. It's my government name, so I felt natural saying Leigh Bush as well. So it's crazy now because girls do say, some girls call me Sammie, some girls call me Leigh Bush, but at the end of the day, man, Sammie has so much history from I like it, crazy things I do for love, hardball. So I never wanted to confuse, nor do I want to act as though I'm shying away from that, because I'm very excited and proud of everything that Sammie has done.
I remember you, I remember seeing you for the first time on Apollo.
Oh yeah, I was 10 years old, man, like 1998, 1989.
Dang, it was that long ago.
Yeah.
Okay, but I absolutely just love that performance, and I always remembered you from that. What has it been like for you from that, on your journey, from that point till now?
It's like a movie, you know what I'm saying? Just me getting to Apollo. If it wasn't for me humming during the test in 2nd grade, my teacher at the time, Miss Allen, she was like, "Do you want to share what you're humming during the test?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'll sing in front of the class." And I sung in front of the class. She sent me to the office. The principal made me sing. They called my mom to the office. Next thing you know, I got transferred to Charles Drew Elementary, which was a magnet school for music. And then I joined the group, the 1 to 3. Shout out to Terrell and Phillip. Whatever y'all doing, I appreciate y'all and I love y'all. We auditioned for the Apollo as a group. I never was a solo act initially. And they called back and they was like, "We want the young one for Apollo Kids, and we want the group to come back for amateur night." And I remember being just a nervous wreck, rubbing the log and meeting Steve Harvey. He was the host at the time, and singing My Sharia Moore by Stevie Wonder, who arguably is one of the greatest musicians of all time. And just looking, that was almost 18 years ago now. I'm 28, just turned 28 in March. It's crazy how life works, you know, getting discovered by Dallas Austin and Joyce Irby and having a #1 record at the age of 12 is crazy when you think about it, but it shows God's grace and God's glory. I really want to give that to him, and then my fans for just supporting me and riding with me this long. It's crazy to have longevity, so I just really take it in stride, but I'm very humbled by it.
So did you know at 10, or was it before that you wanted to do?
I knew at the age of 4 was my first time singing in front of a crowd. I sung in front of a Church of Christ. We didn't have instruments, so your voice was all you had to do or to use. I got a standing ovation at 4, but that really didn't mean anything. You can't boo a 4-year-old kid in church. But at 8, it was when I realized that was my passion, and I was put here to perform for the rest of my life. And then at 12, landing my first deal with Capitol Records out in LA, it just opened my mind young to understand that I can use this gift to see the world, and touch people. So
you're from New York?
Nah, I just been all over. I did some time in New York and I stayed in LA for a little bit, but I'm from Florida. I was born in Boynton Beach, Florida, a small city. If you don't play sports, you probably don't make it out. But I lived all over Florida. My mom couldn't be still, so I lived in Fort Lauderdale for a little bit, Delray Beach for a little bit, Miami for like 7 years, and then Orlando in high school.
So what brings you to Atlanta?
I love Atlanta. It's the perfect concoction. It's not too fast. It's not too slow. I live in the suburbs, so it's very peaceful and quiet, but I have a 30-minute ride from the turn up, you know what I mean? So, and it just gave me my swag and helped me become the man as well as the artist that I am. And then, of course, we have like the best women in the whole wide world, so that don't hurt nothing. And then I feel like you got to go to where it's at and whatever your profession is. So if you want to be a singer or songwriter or artist, you need to be in either LA, New York, or Atlanta. And Atlanta wasn't too far from Florida. So my family's still in Florida, so I wanted to be like a hop skipping away from them.
Okay, so what are some of the things that you do to get your creative juices flowing?
I like Malbec wine. I like Merlot. You know what I mean? I like to not get like too inebriated, but just a little outside of a sober box, just to tap into some different emotions that might be suppressed if I was sober. Then I channel my life. I've been through so much, good times and bad times in the business. I've been a great boyfriend. I've been a jerk. You know what I mean? I've been an R&B rock star for a little bit. You know what I mean? And I've been really a saint. So I utilize all these experiences and I put them into like this gumbo, I call it, of emotions. Turn up, sex, love, pain, infidelity, and I put it into my music and I try to be as honest and transparent as I possibly can. But I'm inspired by so many things. Your art, experiences that my friends may be going through. Every day is a song. You just have to seek it. I really believe that.
You talked about R&B music.
Right.
How do you feel about where R&B music is now?
Honest, I'm real honest. It's a dying genre, and it kind of is disheartening because in the urban community, hip hop has always been dominant. Almost 2 decades now, if not longer. It's fair to say that. You know what I mean? In some way, somehow, we've gotten confused with that. Especially from a commercial standpoint, we feel like we have to rap, sing now, and everything has to be about bottles and girls. And don't get me twisted, like, that's necessary, and I got some of that on the album. I got some of that on mixtapes, but that's not the meat of my project. R&B is supposed to impact the spirit and the soul. I feel like that. I love Marvin Gaye. I love Stevie Wonder. I love Al Green. I love R. Kelly. You know, I love Usher and Joe, Tank. When you talk about those artists, they're very vulnerable. Their voice alone gives you chills in certain, some shape, form, or fashion. So it's a dying genre, but I feel like it's up to artists like myself who are really crooners and consider themselves in that realm to bring it back and to resurrect it. People still love it and support it, but from a mainstream standpoint, everything is so hip hop driven. So we just have to stop being confused. Like you got the rappers singing and you got the singers rapping. So it's just this crazy, time where.
Right. So what is Sammie bringing to the table? What is Sammie gonna give us? Bring us back.
Passion. I mean, I just came back from a Luke James concert that he had here a few weeks ago at the Loft in Atlanta, and I respect his craft. I've always been a fan of him. But to see him be so lost in his own music, it's time where he loses himself, and you can tell he's not even doing this for the crowd at this moment. He's really enjoying his music, and that's missing. That's so organic. That's so raw. I bring that element to the game as well. Transparency. I feel like the most honest and vulnerable artist we have is like Drake. That's why he connects with the women, and they call that sensitive, but I call that just being a man. We feel everything. We just allow pride to suppress how we really feel. So in R&B, why don't we have that type of content and that type of music that reaches women in such a way that Drake's music connects? That's what I bring to the game. No one in R&B right now in my age demographic is doing that. They want to party and turn up. So I'm glad they're doing that because it lets me come in and do my own thing.
So are you single right now or dating anybody?
Yeah, it's my first time officially single in a long time. I was with a girl for 4 years off and on from like the ages of 19 to 23. Then I was young too. I shouldn't have been in a relationship looking back, but then I was so used to being with somebody that when we broke up, I hopped right back into a serious relationship, a little more intimate and serious than the last. So I'm at that point where God, family, and music is my priorities in life. I love love. I love women. But until I'm really content and happy with myself wholeheartedly, I can't give a girl 100%. And I feel like a female deserves that. But I'm open to dating and getting out there again, but just nothing serious right now. I'm chilling.
All right. Well, you know, I'm pretty sure that at least a woman would respect that honesty.
Yeah.
So,
give it the truth.
Right. So, well, with us living here in Atlanta, you know, this is like the capital of reality shows.
Right.
Is that something that you would have in mind to do, or?
I've been off a couple times to indulge. I just can't sacrifice my integrity and my ethics and morals. I'm not crazy and into the drama like that. I'm too positive and too much on love and great vibes to, you know, sacrifice my true being for a check. That's just never been me. You know what I mean? So if I ever indulge in that, it would just have to be based around my career, around my day-to-day living. Of course, y'all want to throw in some extra drama here and there, cool, but that's just not what Sammie ever been about. So I would like it to be based around my life and my career and my music. I think sometimes that when artists do that, you don't care about their music no more because they're a reality star. And that would like kill me because all I care about is music. So as long as it doesn't compromise my career and my integrity as a man, then I'll do it.
Okay, so outside of music, do you have any other things you're working on, like maybe movies or something? Books?
I start acting classes in a few weeks actually. I respect the craft so much I never wanted to just jump into it because I'm Sammie. You know what I mean? I don't want to suck at it. It's totally different from acting videos and singing and performing. So I definitely want to act. I've been working on the book for like 2 years, and I really technically could be done, but it's just hard to focus on author Sammie and the singer Sammie. But it's called Good to Know. Pretty much, it's the opposite of Think Like a Man. I don't want my woman to think like me. You know what I'm saying? I don't think like that when a man think that. And that's no shade to Steve Harvey. I get where he was going with it. I just feel like we should understand how different we are as species. We're dumb. Women are smart. You know what I mean? You all age a lot faster in the mind than we do. We're greedy. We like plural women. That's why infidelity happens. And I'm not saying that's okay, but I also think that we need to talk about the content and why it's that way, the science of it all, the DNA.
Well, tell us, why is it that way? What the heck can we do?
I mean, I'm a God-fearing man, so not to get too deep, but it can go back to Adam and Eve. You know what I'm saying? It was a woman who persuaded him to bite the forbidden fruit after being told by God to not indulge. From that day forth, women became one of our greatest vices. You know what I'm saying? So we could be in a relationship, we could be happy, and the sex could be great, and the food could be amazing, and she could be articulate and intellectual, and this girl with the yellow dress, just because she looks so damn good and curvy, will make us go that way, just for a moment. And that moment can ruin a lifetime, you know what I'm saying? So we need to understand that we are weak, and we need time to grow, and we need time to have self-love, and we need time to get our money right, and to feel like we can provide, so there's no insecurities, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So the book is really just helping women understand the psyche of a man and why we are the way we are. And I think it will be refreshing to come from somebody who's only 28 years old. Like, I'm young, but I've lived so much. I've had many encounters with women, so I feel like that's just something I wanted to add. We have social media, so the world is like super small now. You know what I mean? I can just see a pretty face, and she could be in Alaska, and I can slide in her DM, and next thing you know, it's just a hop, skip, and a flight away. You know what I mean?
Bing, bada, boom.
Right. So I think that it'll be dope to have a book to tackle on that, just to help us understand women a little better and for women to understand men, because we're totally different.
Okay, so with all that being said, you have some new music that you're working on. Can you tell us a little bit about that? You have a single, Had a Few.
Had a Few, just shot the video with G Visuals a few days ago, so I'm excited. I feel like that's a good kickstart because it's a very Sammie record. It's a mid ballad, so I'm singing my ass off. I think that the fans need that. It's the opposite of turn up, although we have some of that coming. And I told you I was a jerk in a relationship. Like, a lot of my material is about this girl that, this is the first girl I ever thought I would marry. He talked about kids and having a family, and then I messed up. And I realized you can have greatness too soon. You know, you can ask for this great woman and not be ready for her. And Had a Few was telling her that, like, it breaks my heart to break your heart, but I had a few women, you know what I mean, during the process of us. So it's just an honest, vulnerable, I'm sorry, R&B record. I released a project, just a 4-song compilation called Series 3187. My birthday's March 1st, 1987, so I released that on my birthday on my SoundCloud. LeighBush.com is where you can find it. LeighBush.com. And I just want to give people something to marinate on until the singles came into fruition. And I locked myself in the studio for like a year straight. And I think in a year I created like 85 records from top to bottom. So I have a lot of material to choose from.
85 records, but you be making music after you long gone.
Yeah, I'm like the R&B Tupac right now. You know what I'm saying? Just really mashing out records. But what really made me stay in the studio too was 3 years ago I co-wrote Tank's Next Breath, and it went #1 Urban AC. A lot of people don't know that. Like I'm still in the backgrounds and everything, and for me to have my first placement on one of my somebody I admire, his vocals especially, was super dope, and it just opened my mind up to tap into other artists. So I've been doing a lot of writing behind the scenes as well, not just focused on my project.
Okay.
So that's why my catalog is so extensive.
So you be writing music and stuff. Anybody else you have written for?
Yeah, you know what's crazy? So I known Jacob Lattimore since he was a kid. Like,
oh wow,
and
okay.
I was like, man, if I ever get in a position to go back and get him, I'm gonna get him because I feel like he's a superstar. He can act, he can dance, he can sing, and the girls love him. And then lo and behold, me and Jazzy Faye been in the studio a lot, just collaborating and creating our own personal catalog as a team. And I just did a record on Jacob. This new act, her name Marissa. I can't say who she's signing to yet because that's her thing. David Corey from X Factor, Avery Wilson, who's with Sean Garrett, and a plethora of others actually. It's a whole lot going on as far as the Pin Gang goes. So, and I feel like as an artist, that's everlasting. Me as a singer, that has a date. It has an expiration date. Whenever the people decide, but that has its peak. But as a songwriter, or if you can produce, you can forever do that as long as you're able to evolve with the times. And I think I'm gifted enough as far as a songwriter to do so.
Okay. Well, do you think you could sing a little bit for us?
Yeah.
Whatever.
It's like sorry that I got here late. Baby, I've been on my way for too long. I don't know how to explain. Right for me has always been too wrong. I was making all these promises to you that I knew I was never gonna keep true. How can I make these words sound good to you? And that's a little bit of
Did you say you got dirt on your face?
Okay, right.
Hey.
thank you.
So really I don't wanna waste time. Let's go to my hotel suite together just to make it go down. Ooh, don't be shy, baby. Sister, baby, I'm the dog.
Get back to the front. I got what you need, I'ma give you what you want. You call me your man, hey, baby, don't serve. Wait till you see my dick, yes sir. I'ma beat your pussy like a bass drum. I'm matter of fact, I'ma beat it like hanging on the goddamn track. That long, so you gotta take it off.
So, first and foremost, what's the inspiration for the video?
I was on the airplane going to LA. Let me tell you the song first. I was going to LA, and you know, DJ Mustard got this crazy wave on the radio with the bounce type of vibe he got. And I felt like that was reminiscent of like crunk music to me, ATL. So we call it turn up now, but it's super dope to bring, I think, the originators of this turn up, which is Ying Yang Twins. So I just want to do a fun video. We got girls on the pole, real Atlanta curvy girls, you know what I'm saying? We known for the strip club and shit like that. So shout out to Ying Yang Twins, Collie Park, that whole movement. And it's just a fun video. White backdrop, we're gonna have some graphics and everything. G-Visual's gonna make it real sexy and fly. And I'm just excited to just bring them back, because it's like a whole generation that don't know who Ying Yang are. And then it's people like myself that grew up with me that's very hip, you know what I mean? To the window, to the wall. Like that turn up shit. So Show Me is just that fun record. Have a good time, go to a club and let loose. Forget about your worries and your stress, just have fun.
Okay, any other special guests in the video?
I mean, you never know, it's Atlanta, so I got a couple people that's popping up that I didn't even know was in the building. So we're gonna turn up all night. Got some drinks coming through for them. I'm on a little cleanse, so I'm gonna be turned up on natural high. But I got a couple special guests coming up in the video and a few cameos that I'm working on, so I can't wait.
All right.